Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. And last night at the MTV Movie and Television Awards, which is probably one of the most asinine name changes for the award show. Never mind the fact that you're mixing movies and television and all the movies that won were movies that came out in the last 3 months, so it really makes no sense how the whole voting thing works. It's basically a crap show. Let's be fair here. But they did drop the third and final trailer for Wonder Woman. And I wanted to talk about this thing because it gave us a little bit more in terms of what to expect from the film. They kind of introduced a little bit more about Steve Rogers, showing him here with the lasso of truth on him, or at least a lasso, maybe not the lasso of truth, probably not the lasso of truth, and you know everything that's going on with the Poison Woman, creating the gas used in trench warfare in World War One, and everything else with that. And I thought that it was a good little kind of setup for the story, giving us more about the villain without fully exposing Ares as being the bad guy, even though if you follow the marketing and the trends and everything else for the film, you know that it's Ares. You know that he's going to be the bad guy in this one. But what I liked about this particular trailer is that it was, it's the warrior theme trailer, right? And the idea there is to kind of showcase Diana's rise to becoming a warrior, her becoming Wonder Woman. This is her origin movie. This is her film trying to create that of which we see down the road of what will be used to protect Earth, and everything else. And so I'm really curious to see how this movie plays out, because this trailer feels like, while it's the most action-oriented trailer, which can be good or bad depending on how you look at it, it solidifies that Warner Brothers is not messing around when it comes to what kind of movie they want to tell. What kind of movie they want to make, what kind of story they want to tell. This is one that's going to have, I think, a lot of kick-ass action. I think it's going to have a pretty decent story. It looks like there's going to be a lot of humor, especially from the side characters, like the woman on the screen right here, whose name I forget, but she was in Shaun of the Dead as the theatrical friend of Sean's girlfriend, whose name I can't remember right now. And she's definitely, going to be the comedic relief. Chris Pine can do kind of the stoicness while also being charming and humorous. Although I will admit, though, watching him in the trailer and everything else does kind of give off a little bit of a James T. Kirk vibe. I'm not knocking that. Personally, I love him as Captain Kirk. So I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff they pull off here. But this movie is one that I think is going to make $1 billion. I don't have a doubt in my mind that it's going to make $1 billion. It's a movie that, out of all the films coming out this year, I think it's in my top 5 of most excited to see. And I'm not even that big of a Wonder Woman fan. It's not that at all. It's just this particular character is one that's never really been given the full ride on the big screen. Linda Carter's show from the 70s was great. People loved it. You have all the comic books over the years. People know and love Wonder Woman. And I think giving her solo film is going to maybe kick Marvel in the ass to finally open up solo films for their female heroes, which they've been kind of reluctant to do thus far. I mean, why we have to wait till 2020 for Captain Marvel is just insane. But what I'm hoping is that this kind of reboots the DCEU. And it might. This film might actually reboot it in terms of not being as dark or as dreary or as whatever it was with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and even Suicide Squad. And as much as I love those movies, there are certain elements of kind of like dread that are underneath the surface. And that might be because of Zack Snyder and his influence. Now, this movie was made under Snyder's purview, under him being the kind of like the head honcho of the DCEU. But during the edits and everything else, that was where Jeff Johns was involved. And so I'm wondering if any of that had an impact or influence. And based on the marketing, I feel like it did. It's trying to showcase more of the lighthearted moments, moments of levity, in order to kind of, I think, humanize Diana, humanize the world around her, to make it, what's the word I want to use here? Like, relatable to people, who are going to come on in and see this film. And the only thing I hope is that if it's bad, if it's bad that the media doesn't do what they did with Ghostbusters, which is if you don't like this movie, you're a misogynist. If you don't like this movie, you're a sexist. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. I don't have I don't have high hopes for it, to be honest with you. Given how they've been lately with all these things, given how they act on all this shit, it's one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised if that was something that came out. But we have a couple weeks left until the reviews drop. We have a couple weeks left until the movie itself drops. And when it finally comes out, I think we're going to be able to see a whole new side of the DCEU. And I'm praying that I'm right. I'm praying, because as much as I love Marvel movies, I want Warner Brothers to start kicking ass with these films. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that I love a good underdog story, right? I love a good underdog story, and I'm rooting for the underdog here. And the underdog is Warner Brothers. The underdog is the DCEU films. You know, this is their 4th film compared to Marvel's 15th. They have a long way to go, a long way to go to make up that ground. And they've done a couple things that aren't very good, but with Wonder Woman, I feel like they're getting back on the right track, especially with Justice League coming out this fall, and then next year 3 films are coming out, or 2 films are coming out next year. It's so many movies that are going to be coming out from all the different studios. Warner's has a lot of competition, and I have a feeling they can, if their heads out of their ass, actually do the right thing. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think Wonder Woman is going to do as well as I'm thinking? Do you think it's going to pull in $1 billion? Do you think Warner's is going to right the ship? Is this another one of another huge mistake, another misstep? These are things I want to know. So go ahead and write down in the comments. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. This is a subject for debate. You know, this is a subject for discussion. Wonder Woman is pivotal in that regard, and I just want to know your guys' thoughts. Anyway, my name is Matt Jarbo. This has been 3 Buck Theater. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and oh yeah, comment, subscribe, like, share it around, get your friends in on the conversation. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace out.